The outstanding head coach of one of the top programs in the state of Alabama, the Prattville Lions, Caleb Ross, is with us. Coach Ross won a state championship at McGill-Tulane, played for another while he was there, also coached at Opelika and at Thompson. And, of course, we've got him on here this morning to talk about high school football and also his outstanding player, Ian Jackson, that committed to the University of Alabama on Thursday. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Doing well. Good to have you, my friend. Let's start with Ian Jackson because clearly that's of high interest right here in Tuscaloosa, his commitment on Thursday to the Crimson Tide. I want to get some insight from you. I've watched the videos. Of course, I'm no football coach, but you can see that he can run. You can see that he's athletic. You can see that he's got the potential to get bigger and stronger with another year of high school football before he gets to college. And just having texted with him a little bit and listened to an interview with him, you can tell he's an outstanding young man as well. I might have summed it up there, but give us some more insight into what makes Ian Jackson a tremendous high school football player and a college prospect.
Well, and you said it best. To me, what I'm so proud about that kid, he represents everything you want in a face of your program type football player. Yeah, he's a great player, and then I'll definitely talk about that, man. But he's a great human being. Comes from a great family. He's well-spoken. You don't have to worry about him getting in trouble. He's one of our captains. And I know, I get it. Everybody says a kid's a good kid, and I get it. Good kids don't get scholarships at University of Alabama. They got to be good football players. But first of all, man, he's that type of kid that I can see fitting on what Alabama wants. He's a smart kid. I told somebody if his body develops, I see him playing early just because he's going to be able to absorb the defensive scheme. He's going to take coaching. He doesn't take coaching personal. Sometimes you deal with teenage boys, man. They take it personal if you correct them. He doesn't. He sees it as an opportunity to get better. And I think that's allowed him to improve every day. Allowed him to improve every day when he gets on the college campus. So that's the first thing I'm saying. Man, he's just a good human being.
Yeah, you can tell that. And, listen, that's a big part of it, adjusting to college life and becoming a member of a college football program, being a high-character person counts. For you, having coached him now for a couple of years and going to have him again this season, what does he bring to your football team just from a skill set perspective?
Sure, and he's so versatile, man. And he started out, he played safety for us the sophomore year. We knew at some point he'd probably move down to play closer to the line of scrimmage, and we did that last year. Man, he can do a little bit of everything. Because of his DB background, he can play out in space. He's got good ball skills. He can cover so much ground. But he's also a big, strong, physical kid that, man, he can take on blocks. And what we kind of learned last year, that he was a natural coming off the edge. So we played him more of an outside linebacker. And, we'd bring pressure from the edge. And we coached it and we taught it. But you got to have some natural instincts on how to lean on an offensive tackle and run the hoop. And, man, he was kind of natural at it. So he brings some of his versatility there. I don't know if he's a true Mike, but I do think he's a kid you can play inside the box. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be a 230, 235-pound kid before he graduates college. I really do. And the thing about him, too, he's probably, I know he's listed somewhere between 6'1", 6'2". We got him kind of right at 6'2", but he's got long arms. Mm-hmm. He plays a kid that can cover more wingspan and more ground. But and then he has great instincts, and he closes really fast. I don't know pure 40. We don't really do that here. I couldn't really tell you where he'd run, but I know in a short distance he can cover a lot of ground really, really quick. And he's been a really good tackler for us. So, I know that's a lot, but I think he's just so versatile. He brings so much to the table.
Sure he does. That's why he's one of the best players in the state. Coach Caleb Ross with us from the Prattville Lions. Yeah, you talk about his versatility, and again, the next game I coach will be my first one, but I do follow football and have for a long time and watch how it's evolved in just really the last 8 or 10 years. And as a defensive linebacker, and you mentioned putting him on the edge, you just about have to be able to be versatile now because of what you're seeing from these offenses.
That's right.
The days of a guy that can just plug in there and inside linebacker and
are long gone.
Yeah.
Right.
And he is kind of that new wave. He grew up playing this style of football, right?
That's right. Well, even at the high school level, and obviously college, everybody knows, they see it, they get to watch it. But even if you ain't watched, 6A, 7A football in Alabama recently, man, that's what we do. We run spread and RPOs, and the game's advanced so much that we have to have that type guy that can play in space. Like I said, the day of where you can put a bed sheet and cover all 22 guys is over with. So, you got games spread out, and he's long. I think that's why teams too, with all the RPO stuff, man, he clogs up, he covers up passing lanes and windows to throw slants off the run and things that people are doing these days. I think that's just, to me, the value in that kid. And obviously, man, they'll play in space. And these guys, especially at college and SEC level, man, the creativity to get their best players out in the open. Well, you got a guy out there that can go tackle that guy and go get him on the ground. And I know that's what everybody wants it. That's what Alabama's going to get him.
I want to ask you, because it is still a dead period with the pandemic and recruiting continues, and he's just down the road in Prattville on Highway 82. I get that. But for him to go ahead and make a decision and announce it when he had a lot of options, obviously this is a great program here. I know one of the major reasons he's coming to Alabama because it's maybe the best program in the country. But from your perspective, what did he tell you? Why was the time right now, and why did he decide to go ahead and pull the trigger for the Crimson Tide?
I think deep down that kid's known for about 4 months since the day he went up and visited. Mm-hmm. You know, Coach, they kind of came in January. I talked with Coach Kelly. Coach Kelly's been recruiting Ian, and obviously great relationship and the job he does with high school recruiting, Coach Charles Kelly. But Coach Saban come down, and I know when Ian went up there and visited, I talked to him the next week and said, Coach, it was awesome. It was just different. And he's had some really good schools recruited him. He's had some great relationships. I mean, this SEC football, all those guys are really good that come in here and recruit. But he's known, just my personal opinion, and just kind of just listening to him, he's known since February this is what he's wanted to do. So I just think he wanted to kind of be able to see other places first just to make sure. Well, the coronavirus kind of really hurt that. So him not being able to go visit campuses, and now that they kind of shut everything down, his mind, well, look, I'm not going to be able to go see these places most likely. I know where I want to go. I know the best place for me. So I think it just made sense for him to go ahead and make the announcement. And I think he hadn't said this, but, man, I'd imagine the recruiting attention over time can wear on you, especially if you're a senior high school kid. And they're not just some of these schools, they're still going to cut recruiting. I think I told him that a lot of them will, but I think it was starting to get where, man, Coach, I want to make a decision, move forward where I can focus on my senior year.
Well, he's an exciting prospect. Coach Caleb Ross with us from Prattville High School. Let's change gears while I've got you. I listened to Coach Savarese earlier this week, and I know you did too, kind of lay out, the plan for schools to open up again and athletes to get back working out. And my gosh, Coach, I mean, you deal with a lot as a high school football coach, head coach at a major program like Prattville. I know you're looking forward to moving forward, but the challenges that you're going to face with this pandemic in terms of how you handle your volunteer workouts and weight room stuff, and what's the plan like going forward to have kids back, but not in the way that they were back at this time last summer? I mean, how are you going to deal with that?
Well, that's a great question, man. I was on a conference call with our athletic department here at 9:00, just laying out all those details. And I sat down with our coaching staff yesterday, and we laid out a detailed plan for our weight room to do the social distancing. And it is. I mean, you become a logistics guy. You become like I said, I'm a big time coach. I'm going to go out and buy a bunch of cleaning supplies this afternoon and got to go get a PO and all that stuff. So, the fun trials of being a high school coach, but we got to. That's part of it. And if we want to do this and do this right, keep people safe, and still continue to have our sport and get our kids back in the flow of football, this is what we got to do. We got to assign coaches to parking lot, to door, to entry and exit levels, cleaning supplies. I mean, it's just a lot, but that's part of it. It's what we do, and I'm glad to be able to do something that we are getting to do this. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I think the whole idea, just in talking to the state and stuff, is phasing this back in.
Right.
And the first couple of weeks of really just, hey, let's focus on getting the kids back, lifting, doing something. We'll start getting more football oriented as we go through this and do what, we're going to do what we're told. But I'm just happy, like most coaches, man, just to be back. Because there was a fear, like most of a couple months ago, that, man, this wouldn't even happen this year. So, but anyway, it's exciting.
With that in mind, and there's still so many unknowns, and, the pandemic could spike, and we're, kind of taking this day to day, but we know how important high school football is in this state. Do you anticipate, is it just your feeling that we'll have regular high school football in the fall, beginning in August, with fans in the stands and marching bands? Or are you concerned that we may have to adjust the way we play? Just your personal thoughts on what the high school football season will look like this fall in Alabama.
Sure. Just my opinion, like you said, that's probably worthless at this point. But just my opinion is, I do think we will play. I think we'll play. My opinion is we'll play a full schedule.
Good.
Now, what I probably couldn't tell you on is exactly how the fans in the stands, how all that's going to look. I really don't. At one point I thought, well, maybe we won't be able to play with many fans. But I do say this, I think we need normalcy. I think the push for normalcy, as long as, we can manage it. Because somebody said, we're supposed to play with Tumpka at Crampton Bowl and like a kickoff classic type deal. And I'm thinking, man, we may not have anybody there. Then I got thinking about it again. We may have a ton of people there just because they're going to be so excited to get back to something football. You know what I mean? So that's a great question. I do feel like we will play. I do. I don't know what it's going to look like as far as parents and fans in the stands and, like you said, the band and things like that. I think if you play football, you got to bring it all back with band and cheerleaders. But what does that mean for spectators? Man, that's a great question. Yeah, I hope so. I hope we can. I hope we can, but I hope we can do it obviously where people are safe. All that good stuff, man. And we're all at the mercy of something that we've never experienced before.
Absolutely. Finally, let's get some thoughts from you on your football team. Last year, 9-3, second round playoff loss to Central Phoenix City. I mean, you look at your resume. You're used to big high school football programs in this state. You've coached at some of the biggest ones. Now you're at another top program in Prattville. 7-4. Your first year, 9-3. Last year, great players like Ian Jackson on your team. What's your feeling on your football team this year? Do you have a Class 7A state championship contender on your hands?
Well, that's hard to predict. Yeah, I know this. We got a good group. I feel like most schools, we got to go develop what we can get done, and not that we're at the mercy of, like I said, the rules and regulations, but how much we can develop between now and August probably depends a lot on that. But overall, man, we're happy where we're at. I'm from Prattville. This is my hometown.
Sure.
This is a lot of reasons why we came back and took this job. And it had gotten away from them. It was not, they were not very good the previous few years. So we've had a rebuild project, and we feel like we're on our way. We still got a ways to go, but I feel like we got a chance to have a really good year. Whether or not that means playing for a state championship, that remains to be seen. I think anybody, the excitement's back here, kids, the program's stable. And we got, obviously, Ian this year, and we have a few other kids that are going to play at the next level off this year's team. But we got some young talent coming through over the next 3 to 4 or 5 years. So, man, we feel pretty good about the future of Prattville football. This place is a proud, traditional place. I mean, all the great teams that Prattville's had over the years. So, we're here to try to kind of bring that back. So, but, yeah, I feel really good about it. Guys like Ian help. Having a guy like that makes you look like a really good coach. I know that.
Yeah, you got to have good players. I don't care how good a coach you are. You got to have the players.
Yeah,
Coach,
that's right.
We appreciate the time. Looking forward to that Prattville pipeline continuing here at the University of Alabama with Ian Jackson. And good luck this summer, and hopefully we'll have a great high school football schedule in the fall for everybody. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.